G'day, I'd like to share a simple process that will help you develop and implement a do-it-yourself business plan. And don't be deceived by its simplicity. This process really does work. It'll get you good results and it'll put you in a position to implement improvements so that you can build a better business. Now, the process itself really revolves around three simple questions. Where is your business now? Where do you want it to be? And how are you going to get there? And to kick off with, what I'd like to suggest is that you pay a little bit of attention to your numbers and set some targets for the upcoming year. And in front of you, you can actually see how simple this can be. This is an example from a real business. They took previous 2 years' actual results and sales and costs, gross profit and profit or loss at the end of the year. And they've played with the numbers and they've said, come up with a target and said, this is what I want to achieve. This would be a good reward for me, a realistic reward for me for being in business next year. And that's what success looks like in financial terms. So once you've got that, you can then start planning your business around how you're going to achieve it. And the way to do that is to kick off with where are you now? And you can see in front of you this little mind map with seven different attributes that you could consider. And I suggest that you kick off with the personal one. Why are you in business? You presumably you're in business because you think you can do a good job and you want to generate some income to fund a lifestyle that you want to live. Well, how's that going? How much time are you spending in the business? How much money are you making? What are you doing when you're at work? What are you doing when you're not at work? And so on. Just a few little bullet points, and then go around each of the other elements in the mind map and do the same. And to help you, you can download a template, and that's got some questions that can help stimulate your thoughts in each of those areas. So go through that and document in the template, where are you now? And when you've done that, you can then start thinking about where would you like to be. And this is important, so it's worth spending a bit of thought and time on, because healthy businesses have a clear vision. Where do you want to be and what do you want to achieve? And the clearer that vision is, and the clearer you'll be able to see it and see what your success looks like, and the more likely it is that you'll be able to achieve it. And the way you do that is basically just go through the same process as for the now, answer similar questions in terms of where would you like to be in each of these areas in whatever time frame you're looking at. Probably 6 months to 2 years would be appropriate for most businesses. And then when you've got that, you've got a gap analysis. You've documented where you are now, bullet points. You've documented where you want to be, bullet points. How will you get there? One of the easiest ways of working that out is just to do a mind map and just dump a whole lot of ideas in there that you could do, a lot of actions that you could do to move from now to where. And it doesn't matter if they're not great ideas, just get them down, because you're going to sort of prioritize them later. And when you've got those ideas, you can do it on a mind map like that, or you can put them straight into the template that's in the download area. And this is what it looks like when you've done that. You can see you'll have a document with 3 columns: now, where, how, a bunch of bullet points describing where you are now, where you want to be, and all the things that you could do, the strategies or the actions to move you from now to where. That's essentially your plan, but therein lies a problem, because there's just so much to do. And where do you start? You could either jump in and try to do everything, or you could look at it and say, it's all too hard. And either way, you're not going to get a good result. And that's where lots of business plans fall over. So the next step after doing that is to identify 3 or 4 things that you could do over the next 90 days or 3 months that will move you forward towards achieving your goal. And this is another example, or another real example from another client from about 10 years ago. and they were facing declining sales and declining profit. And they set some targets and had a vision to make a profit of $500,000 over the next year and a half or so. And they kicked off that plan by just focusing on 3 or 4 basic simple things, just start getting traction and start getting some basic processes in their business right that maybe weren't going so well. And what you can see in there is they've got strategies and actions, which is essentially what are they going to do and how are they going to do it. And then they've allocated some responsibilities, who's going to do it and when. And then after they've done that first 90 days, they basically just rinsed and repeated. They reviewed their business plan, they reprioritized, and they put in another 90-day plan. And in fact, what happened is that over the year they had 4 90-day plans, and they actually implemented about 15 different things in their business. And as a result, they were in a very, very different place than they were before they started this process. So that's the basic process that you can implement by yourself. And the more you put into it, the better your results will be. But if you want to fast track your success with some business coaching, have a look on the coaching page of my website, and you'll find 2 videos about that explain how that coaching process works. But regardless of whether you want to go alone, do it yourself, or whether you want to undertake some coaching or do it yourself and come back with some coaching, I follow that process. It's essentially the process that we'll be following if we did some coaching to develop a plan. And if you need some help, just give me a shout. Happy to help you.